Hey everybody, welcome to our studio, welcome to our home. I am so glad to have you back. It's been a 3-week break because we had the July 4th holiday in there, and I'm so happy to be back for blocks G, H, and I in the third block of the month Blitz class. And so it is just such a pleasure to welcome you in. I'm going to give just a few minutes for people to get signed in before we dive in and just tell you how exciting it's been to go through all the posts and see the blocks that you have posted that you're making, and to know you're joining along. It makes all of us, Cheeto, Mr. Kim, and I, feel like we have friends out there, and it really is. Before we start these, we just, kind of say a little prayer that we just want to be a blessing to you today and give you some time just for you to sew, to join us, to learn some new things and have fun. And, with all that's going on in the world, this is your respite. This is your happy place. And that's what we want. We want you to just feel like, for the next couple hours, we're just gonna have some fun. Maybe some surprises, maybe some laughs, who knows? Anything could happen. I hope nothing bad happens, like the phone ringing like last time or something, but you just never know. So we're just glad you're here. Now, who are we seeing, Mr. Kim? Is anybody waving or saying hi?
Oh yeah, we got lots of them. We got Virginia, Florida, Texas, Illinois,
Welcome,
even
everyone.
Canada.
Woohoo!
Yay!
So thank you for making
South Australia.
Oh, yay! Oh, I can't even imagine what time it is there. So thank you for just taking time out of your day to join us here. We just want it to be fun time. And we're going to have a lot of fun. As you all know, we're making this beautiful quilt, and I have been overwhelmed at how many of you are following along. It's so awesome. And I've seen so many pretty variations on the backgrounds and the fabrics. You all have been very creative, which is so great. I've seen a mustard yellow and a hot pink background, and it's been really fun. So I still want to encourage you to post your blocks here on this page, but be sure and tag me if you can, because sometimes when I'm scrolling back, I miss some of them. So if I didn't post or comment on your blocks, it's because I didn't see it. Everything that I see, I leave a comment on. So make sure you tag me. And Mr. Kim's given a little sign. Do we have something going on?
Yeah, we got somebody even dialing in from the Canary Islands.
Woohoo! Yay! That must be Sue from Tenerife, I'll bet you. Yay! Hi, Sue! So Mr. Kim is here. You want to say hi to everyone? His standard wave. Cheeto's here too. He was here just a minute ago. We'll get him back in. I think he's on the search for his buddies who have been relegated to the bedroom for right now, so they don't cause too much of a ruckus. But anyway, let's go. Let's dive right in because we have a lot to do today. We are going to be making blocks G, H, and I. And let's see, where is G? Right over here, and H is down here, and I is up here. These are the blocks. So even if you're brand new, I know some people are just now starting, it's okay. Just follow along. You can always go back and watch the videos from the classes, the first and second class for the Block of the Month Blitz class, and get caught up. It's not a problem. Just join along today wherever you are. So I want to see by a show of thumbs up or something, how many people saw my little commercial this week where I encouraged you to get your cutting done in advance. Anybody out there? I know we're on a little bit of a lag, so I want to see some thumbs up. Did we have some people getting their cutting done in advance?
Well, we got lots of thumbs up coming in.
Yay! All right, because there was nothing really terribly new about cutting for these 3 blocks. Next week, our next class, we've got some new techniques we've got to go over. But for this class, I thought, let's try to get as much pre-cutting done as we can. We'll just review it just really quickly for each block. And then we're going to spend the time sewing and pressing so you get more done. And it's more like a sew-along today, which I always enjoy. And, oh, I got to just say, several of you have reached out with beautiful, lovely compliments and comments about how you're enjoying enjoying the classes and how you feel like you're right here in the room with me. Well, that's honestly how we feel about you. We feel like y'all are just here. I'd be serving up my fresh brewed iced tea that's infused with citrus. I'd be, just serving everyone. I wish you were here, really and truly, because I feel like y'all are friends, and it just warms our hearts so much to know that you feel that way about me coming into your homes. And somebody even said she talks to me sometimes, which I just love. So anyway, I just wanted to say that because you all are blessing us beyond measure. So thank you for that, and thank you for all the positive and encouraging comments. And I try to answer all the questions, but sometimes I don't get to them. Don't worry, somebody from the fabulous Janome team will be answering questions. So anyway, let's move over to the cutting table just for a minute while we review some things just really quickly, and then we're going to dive into sewing. All right. Oh, I think you stepped on my cord, Mr. Kim. Am I still hooked? All right, can everyone still hear me? We had a little cord mishap there. Hopefully, is everyone hearing us both okay? Thumbs up? Okay. We'll see if any thumbs ups are coming in. I know there's a tiny bit of a lag. Anything?
The thumbs up are starting to come in.
Good. Okay. Somebody stepped on the cord. We won't mention any names, Mr. Kim, but...
It's the only way I can get your attention.
All right, block G. Isn't this a pretty block? Now, you probably have everything already cut. I'm just going to review something, and I've got a quick little tip I want to share. I have all my fabric set aside for what you would have had to cut today. You need your background fabric, and you need the magenta and the fuchsia, the mint, the royal, and the yellow. And everyone, if you're following along with the solidish colors, these are what you would have chosen, but you may be using your own fabrics, and that's quite okay. And I have already cut everything. See, just like you, I have 24 of my background pieces cut, and I have 8 of the royal and 8 of the yellow, 4 of the fuchsia, 4 of the mint, and I have 1 fuchsia square. Magenta square. All right, so I have everything cut, but I had a fun little tip I wanted to just share before we move into just sewing. So a lot of times when I'm cutting repeatedly, especially all these little triangles with my precision flying geese and half square triangle ruler, sometimes I like to fold the strip in half and cut 4 at a time. Has anybody been doing that? You really can if your rotary blade is very sharp. Don't be afraid to change out your rotary blades. If you're really having to push your way through fabric, then it's time to change. You can always save those blades for cutting wrapping paper or cardboard or something out in the garage, and you can write right on those blades with a Sharpie paper and save them for paper cutting. But when you're using your rotary cutters, it should feel like a hot knife through butter. And if it doesn't, it's time to change that blade so it really is comfortable and you're not really working up a sweat trying to get your units cut. But what I noticed when I was cutting all those triangles, and I had folded my strip in half so that I was cutting 4 layers at one time, was I got to the end, and Mr. Kim, can you come around here and maybe get this? I have been cutting down a strip, and I got to the end. My fold is here. I have 4 layers, and all of a sudden I didn't have enough to cut more triangles. Well, now a lot of people might think, oh, well, this strip is no good. We need to just pitch this or put it in the scrap bin or whatever. But I want to show you, when you get to the end, the beauty of this ruler is that you can open this up and there are actually 4 more triangles that you can get out of this tiny little piece. So again, remember, I was cutting away and I had been cutting down. It looked like this, and I had been cutting, and I got to the end here where the fold is, and I couldn't cut any more like this. But when you open it up and go ahead and even if you only have 2 layers, you could still get 2 more triangles. Look, you can lay your ruler right on top of this with the 2.5-inch line on the bottom, and you can cut here, and then there's 2 for me and 2 more. Look at this. So you can open that last little bit of the strip And I just got 4 more triangles cut, and the only thing I am going to have to pitch or put in the dog bed scraps is this little piece of fabric. So I'm going to throw that away.
Hey, that means I got to clean it up.
Anyway, I just wanted to show you because when I was doing my cutting, I realized that maybe some of you didn't realize you really can get to the end of your strips where the fold is and get a few more of your little units out of it for some other project or for more blocks later on. So any thumbs up or loves on that one, Mr. Kim? Anyone like that tip? All right, that was my quick tip for the day. All right, so we are getting ready to make this block, and that's block G. And what I'm gonna do is set these aside and carry these units over because we're gonna lay these out and start sewing. Because we're just knowing that you did so much in advance, and we're gonna get away from these cords here. All right. Oh, and I have something really fun to share. Where is it? In our last class, okay, here we go. Somebody left a comment or asked the question about the magnifiers, and does the M7 have the magnifier set? Now, I looked into this and I ordered my own set. Okay, Mr. Kim, you didn't know that I ordered some more stuff.
Uh-oh.
But I'm a gadget girl. I love the gadgets. I love the feet. I love to try them. So I ordered the optic magnifier set, and this set is available, well, a magnifying set is available for almost any Janome. And I know our Janome team can answer questions about which models. The M7 has its own, and it will come like this, and it has 3 strengths of magnifier, and it comes with those 3, 20, 40, and 60, 60 being the strongest, and it has this little arm. So let's go ahead and put the 60 in for now, and because this is just a really slick little thing here, let me get it in without getting my fingerprints on it too much. Whoops. You just snap this in, all right? Now you just snap that in place. Now there's a little pin here that goes right under here, and don't worry, all the instructions are right on the back. So even if you don't save the blister packs, save the cards that come with them or the instructions, because you'll see that it just slips in right back here. There we go, and it just snaps right in. The great thing about this is that you can swing it out of the way when you don't need it and swing it back when you do. But what I want to show you, if Mr. Kim can get over here, is the difference it makes when you have that magnifier in front of your foot. All right, now can you see through the glass? Look at how much, now don't move, Mr. Kim, I'm gonna push this out of the way. Look at the difference. See, that's what it looks like regularly, and then when you swing this back over, look how much more it magnifies. That is pretty awesome. And I can see a lot of uses for this for people who have trouble with their readers, you know, looking down and looking up and looking down. So you might want to consider looking into this. You can, of course, contact your local Janome dealer and find out about it. And I think just about all the models will have some sort of magnifier set. And you can certainly ask questions here, and the Janome team will try to get that out and figure out if your model has that, but I'm pretty sure most of them do. And then all you would need to do to change this, it's really easy. You just pull this pin out, slide this out. I'm going to put the 20 in for now. And because I had my eyes lasered a few years ago, so I'm in pretty good shape, but I can certainly see that even with good vision, when I'm doing tapered stitches for tiny, tiny, tiny little leaves on applique, and I've got really tiny stitches, this would be invaluable for getting into those tight curves and points. So I can really see the benefit of having these magnifiers, whether you have poor eyesight or not, or your eyesight challenged. Mr. Kim says, don't say poor eyesight, say eyesight challenged. So anyway, thought I would share that little fun thing, and now I will put this away. And but it's good to know that it's out there. All right.
A lot of people are asking about the pattern for the cat that's holding the Karen K. Buckley scissors.
Oh, this? Oh my goodness. This was a gift to me from our fabulous Nancy Fiedler. And she sent this to me. It's a Cheeto. And then I asked her to make me one for our other studio. So I just love this. You all know how much I love animals, and especially cats. So this was from Nancy Fiedler, and maybe if she's here or later on, she can chime in with what the pattern was. I know it had some machine embroidery. What a fun project. So maybe that could be someday a class or something. But thank you. I just love that. All right. So here we have all of our pieces, and I've got some great little tips for you all for piecing these, because this block isn't hard. It's about how you press the seams that make all the little half square triangles go together. Now, some of you more skilled or advanced sewers might have said, this block could have just as easily been done with flying geese, and it could. There's like 2 ways to skin a cat. Bad choice of words, but
Poor Cheeto.
Poor Cheeto. But there's a lot of times more than one way to piece a block. And the next 3 blocks have a lot of flying geese. So I kind of wanted to keep this unit so that we were still using our half square triangles, just perfecting them and working with how to press the seams to make them snuggle real nicely. So I actually, when I first designed this, had done it with flying geese, decided, no, let's stick with half square triangles, and then for the next 3 blocks after this, we will be going into flying geese units. So no worries, this is all about skill building. And I'm going to kick my shoe off under the table, but you didn't know that. So all you need to do here is set your square aside for the moment, and let's start with our mint and fuchsia fabrics. And what we're going to do here is we're going to just go ahead and layer these, and this is where you all can be joining right along and be sewing at home. We're just going to sew our background pieces together. Any questions while we're just stitching here?
Are you ready for me to set up on the other side?
Yeah, that'd be fine, Mr. Kim. Go for it.
Okay, get ready. I'm going to go around you.
He's gonna walk around and set up, and then we're just going to stitch for a while, and then he's going to watch on the iPad and answer questions. Oh, don't forget to set your auto pivot if you have that feature on your machine, so you can just chain piece these fast and easy. Okay. All right, and I'm going to pull my iron over here and get it plugged in and heating, because we're going to need it here momentarily. There we go.
You're going to need to move the cord. You got it stuck under you.
Oh, I do. I'm rolled over it somehow. Oh boy. There we go. Let's go around me. All this high-tech stuff. We are really tangled here, Mr. Kim. There we go. I'm going to have to stand up because it's like behind the chair 3 times. Oh my goodness. Can you walk back around?
You know what I can do is I'll unplug you and do it and then plug you back in real quick.
Wait, here we go. Here we go. I think I have it, y'all. See, I told you, you just never know what's going to happen. And here's the funny thing. We rehearse this. We really do. We were up late last night walking through everything that I was going to do. We did not take into account the cords, but at least I think the mics are working today. You all have been so incredibly patient while we work through all these issues. All right, let's get all of our mints sewn. Some of you are probably way ahead of me, and that's okay. Everybody sews and creates at a different pace. And what I want you to know is in every quilt show, there is no award for who finished first. So don't feel like if when you're at a retreat or you're with your friends are sewing faster than you. You know what? It doesn't matter. You sew at a speed where you are comfortable. Okay. We're going to do 4 of the mint and 4 of the fuchsia with our background triangles. And then we're going to stop and press those. Okay. We're doing good on time. Any questions, Mr. Kim? I know you're just getting set up with the iPad so you can follow along with the questions. So if you have any questions, we may not have any questions because everybody's out there sewing along and they may not be at their devices where they can type in things, and that's okay. This will be a relaxing day. All right, now we have done 4 mint and 4 fuchsias. Let's stop and press. Now when you're pressing, be very careful to follow the directions. And the directions are very clear with the pressing on these. You are pressing toward your seam toward the fuchsia and away from the mint. So when you're pressing your mint triangles, it's going towards the background fabric. Even if you have a white or a light, just like me, this is about making all those seams snuggle together beautifully. And I have my little Steady Betty here on my table, my little pressing table. And we're going to press all these towards the background. I know a lot of you looked into Steady Betties and Woolly Betties. It's a product I love to use, and she just told me that if anyone is still interested, they are still offering the free shipping if you use the code word Kimberly on her website. So be sure and check that out. And a lot of your dealers, your local dealers, may be carrying this product. Yes. What are we doing? It's the Janome Sewing Classroom. Once you're in there, just pull it down for a refresh. And if not, I will get it going. Did you log into the Janome Sewing Classroom, Kent? Okay, then I guess we'll have to stop here for a second. That's okay. We just want him to be able to follow along and read your comments and yell them out to me. Okay, hand me that, my dear. Trust me, I got it all set up.
What are you trying to say?
He's a little Facebook challenged. I don't even know where you went with this, my sweetheart. Oh my goodness. Janome Sewing Classroom. Yeah, I don't know what you did here. Okay. There we go. Here we are. And there I am. There you go.
As beautiful as ever.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we have our mints. Mint, all pressed towards the background. There I am. We have the fuchsias.
As beautiful as ever.
Uh-oh, let's get the volume turned down. Right, oh, Mr. Kim, on top. Mint, all pressed. That's going up.
Wow.
He's really challenged today. I'm so sorry. There's just no explaining. All right, now we have our fuchsias. I'm sorry, it's just so silly here. All right, now we're going to tackle our lemons or our yellows and our royal blues. Now, this is the neat trick I have for you about how to remember how to press them, because half of them must be pressed towards the yellow, half must be pressed towards the background, and the same with the royal. I think it's royal. Is it royal? Yes, royal, not ocean. There's a blue I have in Solid Dish called ocean. Wanted to make sure. We're on royal. You're going to have 4 of your seams pressed towards the royal, 4 pressed towards the background. So I have a great way to keep yourself straight when you're doing this. Set up your little background triangles. Now, if you're working with a print background, it would take a little more finessing to do this. A solid, it's pretty easy to do. So when you start with one color, keep this so that this time I'm going to sew from the point to the little lopped off edge, and I'm going to sew with the yellow on top, all right? So the lemon on top, and we're going to sew all the way down. The next one I pick up when I pair it with a background fabric. This one I'm going to sew with the background on top. So we're going to alternate every other color. Every other one has either a background on top or a yellow on top. All right?
Here was a good question.
Yes.
I really like this one. What's the name of the sewing log or piece of equipment that you use to flatten your iron open your seams?
Oh, that's the strip stick. That is the strip stick. And it's made by a lovely couple in Texas. And okay, this one I'm doing with the yellow face up. And yeah, you can just Google the strip stick. And I love those. And we're gonna be using those again today when we press open our little 4-patch units. So, and now the next one you do with the background on top. So every other one, this is how I do it. It makes it so easy when you go to press. it keeps you so straight with how many to press towards the background and how many to press towards the color. Now, there's other ways to do this, of course. This is just my little method. I've done it for years this way, and it really, I don't have to think much about it. It's kind of force of habit now. All right.
Do you have a name for this block?
No, I don't. I think it's a version of a Flying Dutchman. I could look it up. A lot of times I'll start with a very traditional block, but then I tend to change them up. I tend to recolor them, or I'll even redraft them to make them more simple to put together. So I very often start with traditionally based blocks, and then I will do my own little twist to make them different. And a lot of these blocks were begun with traditional blocks, but I wanted this to be modern and different and fun, so I either recolored them or redrafted them or did something to make it a little more different. That was a great question. Okay, all right, now that's all the yellows, and I'm gonna cut my thread. And now look, when you hold it up, it looks like little flags. Aren't they cute? And they're every other way, right? So now when I go over here to press, I know that I don't even have to do anything different. I just need to leave them all so that they're in the same orientation. And then I'm pressing one towards the background, the next one is towards the yellow. The next one's towards the background, the next one's towards the yellow. See how simple that is? Then you don't even have to worry about counting your little piles. You just know that you've got every other one pressed the way it is supposed to be for this block. So that's a pretty neat trick, right? Who likes that? Anyone like that trick? We get any thumbs up, Mr. Kim? Give me a
You
heart.
are.
I need a heart. Okay, we're still going to do the blue too. But go ahead, and now you can cut these apart, and you're going to make two piles, all right? You're going to have a pile with all of the background, the seams pressed towards the background, and a pile with all the seams pressed towards the yellow. Here we go. All right, now set these aside in their two little piles, and let's do the same thing for the royal. See, isn't this fun when we sew together? I like the sewing part. Who likes the sewing part? I do. All right, same thing. Go ahead. I'm going to start this time with blue face up.
So while you're doing that, been a couple of questions of what's the finished size of the quilt?
I'll have to look that up, to be honest with you. I don't know.
It's actually in your instructions.
It's in the instructions, yeah.
It's there, but
I
thought
don't
maybe
know
you
it right off the
might
top
know
of
off
my
the top
head.
of your head, yep.
I want to say like 62 by 78. I'm totally guessing. Don't quote me on that. Okay, next. Any more questions? The blocks are all 10 inches, except for the flying geese on the outer border. But the blocks are all finished at 10 inches. So they're 10.5 inch unfinished. And this is such a forgiving quilt. Oh, look who's here. Look who's here. Hi, Cheeto Puff. Hi, baby. You came to visit. You came to say hi to everybody. Say hi, Cheeto. And it's so forgiving because none of the blocks have to be sewn together. There are spacer pieces sewn between them, so you don't have to match points. You don't have to worry if some of your blocks weren't perfect.
Hey, buddy, you're blocking. Come on.
Come on, bud. Take a little snooze here, or lay down, join us. Yeah, should I give him a treat for coming in? Yes, I do keep treats in my drawer just for him, and the others too, but just for him. Come here. Here, bud. Look. Here you go. Over here. No, not in the drawer. Here, Cheeto. Come on, babes. There we go. There we go. And Regina from Janome just adopted 2 kitties yesterday. Woo, how'd that go, Regina? I hope that those kitties let you get some sleep last night. It's always fun with new kittens in the house. And she adopted them from a rescue, which is great, from a shelter. So we love to support our little kitties and our dogs. We're dog people too. Now, some people have asked in the past, where's Peanut during all this? Well, we have lovely neighbors, Grandma and Grandpa, adopted grandparents, and they love to take her for when I'm doing these lives because she does tend to bark a little if she hears noises outside. So there we go. All right, now we have our royals done. See, little flags just like that. All right, do yours look like this too? Excellent. All right, let's take these over and press these. Same thing, you don't have to worry about which way to press because you have your little flags all chained together, and you're just gonna open the top layer here, or the top piece, and push it away from you. And use your iron to just get in there and press these flat. Now, we are going back to the table for a minute because these do need to be checked for their size. And I like to cut off all the dog ears because you've heard it before. Dog ears are the cellulite of quilting. They need to go. Nobody likes lumps and bumps in their seams, and that's what these dog ears do. They provide all kinds of lumps and bumps and nasty things in your seams. So let's go ahead and cut these apart. And again, make 2 little piles. And there you go. See how fast? This block's going to be together in no time at all. Now you're going to want your precision pre-cut ruler or your precision jelly roll ruler to do the little truing up. Either one will work. So let's just carry these over, and I'm going to put these in similar piles. And we're going to carry these over. Sorry, Mr. Kim. There we go. We're getting better with the cord, people. We are. We're getting this. All right. Let's go back over here. And I'm going to use my jelly roll ruler today, although you can use your precision pre-cuts. You just want to take one little pile at a time. It doesn't take long. The more accurate you cut and the more accurate you sew, the less you will have to trim. Mostly, I'm just going for cutting off these dog ears. But you want to take the time to lay this down so that you can see we're using the 2.5-inch lines right on the edges of the half square triangle and putting the 45-degree line right on the seam line. Do you see that? Then you just take a minute to just go up and across and get rid of anything that's left, all right? It's pretty darn good. And then we're just going to do that again. Always put that 45-degree line right on the seam line. You don't want to cut it so it looks like this. Let's not do that. That doesn't help anybody. Let's always put it so that the 2.5-inch lines just cover the raw edge, and then we're going to go up and across. Sometimes
you don't spin it 180 degrees and do it again.
You don't really need to.
It's already squared up.
It's already kind of squared up, unless you have a really wonky side. And right now we don't have anything intersecting this way, so we don't have to worry about it being square with a center point, as long as that stays even. So these are good. I mean, you could if you want, but I find that you really don't need to unless yours are really kind of wonky. But if they're pretty straight, all we're looking to do is get the schmutz off. Oh, there's Heidi. Heidi, are you out there? Am I saying that right? Heidi August is, she follows along, and she messaged me and she says, you're not quite saying it right. I think it's schmutz. So Heidi, this one's for you. There's the schmutz. All right, here we go. Now let's just do it for all of them. It will take me less than 5 minutes to get all of these done. All right, and if one of them's not quite, well, this one's a little bit weird, okay? But it's not enough to worry about. It wasn't quite square, but trust me, in the finished block, we won't see it. So don't make yourself crazy about this, all right? Don't make yourself nuts.
You didn't finish these ends.
Oh, I didn't. You're right. I just started those. That's what it was. All right, thank you. See why I need him? We are a great team. He had a general officer once call us a twofer because we always did so much stuff together. So we are a good twofer, aren't we, honey?
You bet.
All right, he puts up with a lot. And Cheeto's here. Did you show him that Cheeto's here supervising as he should? All right.
I think he's supervising the hummingbirds right now.
Yeah, we put a hummingbird feeder right outside the window, and he loves to check those out. All right, these are done. Let's go back and do the next round of blues, royals. Here we are. Little schmutz right there. I love that word. Heidi, you just made me so laugh when you told me I needed to say it right. Y'all are so much fun, and I so enjoy the lovely messages and you know, when you tag me or you message me, it's really fun. I really enjoy. I've made so many good friends just across the miles.
Did you remember to tell everybody to share?
Oh, I didn't. Thank you. You know, we're already into this, but could you maybe just consider touching the share button right there and letting other people know that you're doing this, and maybe we'll get them interested too, because you know there's all kinds of positive vibes and energy in numbers, and especially here.
And they can easily get caught up by going back to the old classes.
They sure can, and the instructions are still on. I think they can post a link here for the instructions in case you are brand new and just watching this for the first time. I think we can post a link to those, but you can also go to janome.com, and it's right there on the home page. All right, sometimes you don't even need to go up, but see, we're just getting rid of the little schmutzy things. Oops, here's a little tail we should get rid of. Right here, yeah. The more you do this, the less stuff there really is to trim off, and you'll get more accurate. But even to this day, I still take time to do this, because if there is anything that's larger than the unit that I want, the size of the unit I want to get rid of it here.
So I noticed that now you're working on a new color that we didn't see you sew. You must have sewed these ahead of time.
No, you were walking around.
Oh, I was?
Yeah,
okay.
I did sew these today. See how fast I am?
Yeah.
I did, I promise. This is the fuchsia.
April says she loves that ruler.
Thank you, April. Thank you. Hopefully this will be your go-to ruler from now on for half square triangles, for quarter square triangles, for flying geese, all of that. And Cheeto is here. Yeah. He is our buddy.
Quality control manager.
We don't know what we would do without this guy, really and truly. See how fast this is? You can just knock this out in no time flat. Now, here's a little thing, a little trivia bit. Have you ever pieced a block, and when you got it all done, it was ripply or rumply? The whole block it just kind of didn't lay flat? If that's the case, do you know why? It's because somewhere in your block, your units were too big. They measured larger than what they were supposed to measure. All right, when you have a block that kind of bubbles up. Now, if you ever piece a block and you get it done and you press it and it's kind of pulled and stretched, and it doesn't lay flat, it's kind of concave, that means that your units somewhere in your block were too small. There wasn't enough fabric to make the block the right size. So that's just a little something to put in your brain for later on, because that's why I always take the time to just check these little units for their size and to get rid of any of the schmutz. All right?
Heidi says you are pronouncing it perfectly.
Thank you, Heidi. I love it. I love it so much. See how fast that was? So if you think, oh, I don't want to have to deal with truing up my units, it doesn't take long. You just do it, a little bit at a time. Don't try to do 24 blocks worth of truing up of your units at one time. That would be tedious. But 1 or 2 blocks at a time, not tedious. Okay, Mr. Kim, you want to set back up over there? And I will come back and we'll pull this over like this. Oh, we are getting better, aren't we? There we go. And now we're going to lay this out and sew our units together. All right, the first thing I want to do is I want to focus not on the yellows and blues, but I want to focus on the magentas, the magenta square, the fuchsias, and the mints, all right? So here's what we're gonna do. The fuchsia and the mint are all laid out exactly the same. So we're gonna do it like this. There's gonna be a mint on the left and a fuchsia on the right. And you can do all of them that way. And they will go around the center to make that little friendship star in the middle. Okay, whoops, hello. Let's do it like this. See, even when I'm using the light background, I'm confusing myself. Here we go. There we go. Does that look better? Somebody should have caught that and said, oops, gotta check that. Here we go. So take the time to lay these out just like this. All right, now we're gonna pick these 4 up and sew them. We're gonna take a fuchsia and put it right sides together on top of the mint, and we're gonna snuggle those seams. Now remember, when you snuggle, because these seams are opposing, we have the mint seam going this way and the fuchsia seam going that way. They should snuggle. And when they nest right in there together, it feels nice and smooth, like a closed zipper would feel. All right, and that's how you want them to feel, so you get that perfect point at the top. All right, and now we're gonna go ahead and sew from the top down. And just realign your raw edges as you go. And we can chain piece these. All right. There we go. And we're going to do all 4 of those. And Mr. Kim, when you get a chance, can you reach one of those strip sticks behind you? There we go. All right. Thank you.
I'm glad I can do my job so well.
You do a great job. I couldn't do this without you. There is no doubt. All right, now here, it really doesn't matter so much which way you press these. It really doesn't. I like to press them open. It's not so big of a deal. I think it says it says on the instructions. Let's go ahead and do it like the instructions. Let's press them toward the fuchsia. All right, let's get those pressed toward the fuchsia. Oh, my iron's turned off. Let's see if I have enough juice to do this. Okay, yeah, I think it's still warm enough. Okay, any questions coming in?
Well, I think they're all busy sewing and having a great time.
I think so too. This is more like a sew along today.
Lots of people saying, I love that strip stick.
Oh, good. Awesome. All right, those are done. Now, let's take 2 of these. Well, let's just lay them out like this. All right, we're doing the mint closest to the magenta. Now, I don't know, does the camera angle show this, Mr. Kim? Do you see the little friendship star that we've got going there? All right, let's go ahead and just sew 2 of them to the magenta square. Let's get that done, okay? Let's just get that done for now. Get those out of the way. All right. I know a lot of you have gotten new machines recently, and you're using your new machines to follow along. How are you loving them? This has been awesome, huh? This pandemic has caused a lot of people to kind of reevaluate. Now we're going to press these seams, and I even have to look, but we press the seams away from the magenta square. All right, and this unit is done. Okay, now this one's done, and we're going to leave these other 2 right there. Now we're going to take these next ones, and we need to sew the yellows to the yellows and the blues to the blues. So we've already pressed the seams the proper way because we have 2 piles with them in the correct orientation. So let's see, I'm going to put this over here like that, and here we go. All right, so when you lay these out, on the left side, the seam should be toward the yellow, and on the right, the seam should be toward the background. And we had a question?
A couple of them, but more so, somebody mentioned that, have you gotten a new machine lately? And then all of a sudden, they all notice that you have the M7 and they're loving it.
Ah, yeah, I love this machine. Oh, and I love the 15,000 and the 9450. I mean, there's just not a machine I don't love. They're all wonderful. And I sat down and sewed on my 9450 the other day, and it was like visiting with my old friend, and it was just awesome, and it sews like a champ, and you just can't go wrong. But this M7, it's like the all-in-one. It does everything. Well, not embroidery, but everything for quilting and piecing and bags and jackets and boiled wool and anything you can imagine. It's got the power to sew through anything.
Another
Okay.
question is, do you start your fabric before you start sewing?
Oh, no, I don't. You can, or you can use sizing. I didn't on these. They were just kind of fine the way they were. I didn't wash them, of course, because with the jelly roll, you really can't pre-wash. I've tried. There's just really kind of no way to do it. Okay, so now we're going to be pressing all these seams toward the right side of the unit.
Another question while you're doing that is, somebody asked if you're going to be getting your solidish strips back in stock.
No, not the same one. They may do another grouping of colors because there's 60 colors in the line. And I would like to push for a bundle that has 40 different strips in it so we can really go crazy. But yeah, that's something we need to consider, isn't it? I think there's still a few places that do have them in stock though. If you're looking for one, I know your Janome dealers can get them. All right, so now these little units are done. Now I don't actually true these up. These are good to go, just like they are. All right, so we'll just lay these over here for now, and now we're gonna do the blues. And with the blues, the seam goes out towards the blue on the left side, and the seam comes in towards the background on the right. All right, so put these together. We're almost done with this block, which is good because we have a lot more ground to cover. Okay. Ooh, I'm not sewing with my little...
Is solidish available in yardage?
It is. And if you'll email me, I can send you the name of some stores that are carrying it. I think they have it posted, or you can look on Timeless Treasures. TimelessTreasuresFabrics.com, or I think it's ttfabrics.com, and they have a locator of where you can get it. But yeah, it is available in yards. And I have some fat quarter bundles of all 60 colors on my website right now. I just have a few left because we typically don't do that, but we had done it for a special project, and I have just a few left over. So I've got fat quarter bundles in 15 fat quarters in 4 different colorways. So, all right, now.
And that's on KimberlyEinmo.com.
Yes, KimberlyEinmo.com/shop. Okay, and then this one, we're gonna press towards the left. Okay. So now you wanna press the seam toward the left side. Let's get that done.
So while you're doing that, what you should know is the microphone cord was laying a little bit across that pressing board.
Oh.
And somebody made the comment, you should get that cord out of the way.
Yes.
Be careful. And about that same time, Cheeto went underneath your ironing board. We could see him under there, and the cord disappeared. He's doing his part, right?
Thank you, Cheeto. Oh my gosh. You just never know what's going to happen. Oh my goodness. All right, now we need to take these and to sew these into little four patch units, essentially. We're sewing these 2 units together. The lemon or the yellow will always be on top when you sew, and you will notice now the seams are opposing in exactly the way they should. And we're just going to sew these together. And when you get to the center, I don't use pins. I just align the centers real nice. And you can feel with your finger if it lines up. And you know what? The next one, I think I'm going to sew with the blue on top, and let me show you why. You want to keep the yellow on top and fold it right sides together. This is the side we're going to sew. But you can flip it over to this side so that you can see the blue where the little intersection is right here. You can see that little intersection and hit that with your needle to get a perfect point. So let's do it that way, okay? But remember, when it opens up, the yellow has to be on top, or you'll see. All right, now realign these centers. And I use my fingers to hold it in place, and I sew right up to, and I'm gonna use the little magnifier so I can see right where that little intersection is. Oh, that magnifier is slick as snot on a doorknob. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. That's an old saying my mother used to say. So let's pull this off and open it. And let's see if we have Christmas morning right there. Oh, we do. We do. Christmas morning right here. So you can see we got a perfect point where the royal meets this unit. So this is what your unit should look like. Let's do 2 more. And then the block's ready to sew together. How are y'all doing out there? Y'all doing good sewing these? Don't worry if you don't keep up like this. This is brand new for you. I've done this 6 or 7 times for this one block with all the step outs I've done. No worries. All right, we've got one more here. Again, yellow on top, fold it right sides together, flip it around so we're sewing across the top of the blue, and we can hit that point and get a perfect point. Okay, anyone, take time to give me a thumbs up. I'm gonna ask a question. Anyone getting their perfect point right there? Are we getting some beautiful points right at that intersection?
We're starting to see some thumbs up and hearts.
Yay, good job, good job. All right. All right, now we're gonna press these seams toward the blue, okay? Here we go. All right, and I like to give this seam a press closed first. You want those threads to sink down into the fibers and hold right on, and then you want to just pull the unit and press away from you. Oh my goodness, that is so pretty. Oh, it's beautiful. So, but we want to make sure that we're setting the seam. For those of you who are newer at this, you want to set the seams. Yes, Mr. Kim.
So someone says, my flying geese don't always have a 1/4 inch. What am I doing wrong?
Well, these are like mock flying geese because they're really half square triangles. And so if she's talking about these, it just means we have to be more accurate about, you may be kind of curving off at the end instead of going straight down your seam. That's always a common thing that happens. If she's talking about actual real flying geese, we will be tackling those next week, and I will show you so many tips for how to not cut off their little heads so that you have a perfect 1/4 inch seam left. But for here, it's all about making sure that you're not curving off at the end, or that you're hitting that perfect, that little seam. And I know we're not zoomed in, but you want to make sure you're hitting that little intersection right here in the center to make sure that when you open it, you've got that perfect point.
Are you also using scant 1/4 inch?
Yes, I am. And I'm using my HP foot and plate. If you don't have that, make sure that you set up your machine for your perfect scant 1/4 inch. Now, when you set up and you choose the 1/4 inch stitch on your machines, a lot of times they will default to the needle position of 8.3. You might want to consider moving your needle over to 8.7 or even 8.9. So that needle position can be moved closer to the right edge of your foot, and that is a great way to get that scant 1/4 inch, okay? All right, perfect. Those are such good questions. A+.
Okay, here's a sort of off the subject question. Where did you get your chair?
Amazon. That's a great question. And you know what? This is an architect's chair. So it sits a little higher than a normal desk chair. So I looked for architect's chair, and it can go up even higher. But I found that I was too low, and I wanted to sit higher. So the machine was lower, and I had my shoulders don't get up like this. So I looked for an architect's chair. This is the lowest position on this architect's chair, but it still sits about 3 inches higher than a regular desk chair, regular office chair. So this was a good one, and I got it on sale. So it wasn't that expensive at all. And it's white. So that was a good question. All right, now we're gonna lay these out. All right, can they see? All right, so here's what we've got, everyone. Here's what we've got. Do I have, no, wait. Something is not right. Here we go. There. That is right. There. All right, see, it's good to lay out your units to make sure that they're all in the right orientation so we don't have to rip later on. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna sew these units together. This is already sewn, and then these units together. So let's start right here and put these right sides together like this. Again, snuggle those seams. Now, if you had followed the pressing just as I've outlined on your handouts, all the seams will be in exactly the right orientation so that everything snuggles appropriately. So you just need to follow those. And I think we've done a pretty good job of that so far. Here we go, see? And we'll lay this back down here and flip this one over. And I'm just checking my handout again to make sure I have the right order of everything. Yep, everything is snuggling just beautifully. Any more questions?
Yes, there was a question of, does that 8.7 setting would work on my MC6650?
I think so, but that's something for the Janome folks.
Okay.
Maybe one of the educators, if you're here, could chime in on that. That's a machine I don't have handy to know. But
Heidi says, yep.
Thank you.
I was too quick with the next block. Oh, maybe she was talking about something else.
Okay. All right. Somebody will respond to that if we don't have an educator here today.
So somebody was asking about the square that you lay your blocks on that's see-through. Are they asking, is that plexiglass?
No, it's years ago at those big box creative stores. Nope. I didn't do this right. Did I? Did I do this right? I did do this right. Okay. Sorry. I bought these art bin boxes, and they used to have these plastic dividers, like little file folder divider things inside. They don't do that anymore, sadly, and I have been coveting them and begging for them from friends who don't want them, because they are so great for when I prepare all these demonstrations and step outs. They are so great. I can layer them. Like, I can hold them up like this, and I have everything layered and ready to go. So yeah, they don't make them anymore. Isn't that sad? I wish they did. Okay, and now all we have to do is press, and we're going to press toward the mint and the pink. All right, we're going to press the seams toward the mint and the fuchsia. I gotta call these the right things here. All right, here we go. Love my Woolly Betty. Here's another reason why I like pressing on wool, or even the other side, which is just foam. It doesn't give you any of those shiny places. You don't end up with any of the shiny. Have you ever pressed a unit and you pressed too hard and it left kind of a shiny area on your fabric? That won't happen with wool. And it gives you still a really crisp, nice press, but you don't get that shine. So that's a really nice thing. Okay. Now, and I'm going to repress all of my blocks later with my press, because that makes them even flatter. And now we want to lay this out so it looks like this. Do we have that correct? Let's see. I'm taking time to make sure it's all perfect. It looks good. Now we're going to sew the last two seams of this block, and then we're done with G. How are we doing out there? Don't worry if you have gotten behind. Do not stress. You can go back and finish later. It's okay. You've still made great strides. And I think we have another question or a comment.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure I understand this question, but it's, what are you using for your tray for assembly? Does that make sense to you?
This, I would guess. I don't know. This is just that little, it's just plastic. It's just a little plastic file folder thing, if that's the question. Tray for assembly.
That was from Carol Froling.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that she was asking. It's just what I use, because I just do so many layers of step outs when I'm preparing that I want to stack them up so I can just move them quickly aside. Okay, now when you get that sewn, take a moment to press it. I'm going to press away from the center, all right? Again, remember, this block doesn't have to intersect with any other points, okay? Later on, it doesn't. It just has to intersect with straight strips. And now we're going to add the last one. What you're really looking to do is make sure that you have the little mint colored triangles around the center, so it makes that little friendship star. And then we're going to move on to the next block.
What type of needle are you using?
Ooh, this is a size 80 Microtex. My favorite kind of needle for piecing. So it's a purple tip. And I have to tell you, if you can get Oregon needles. So here's some confusion. Janome needles, people say, oh, I use Janome needles. Those are Oregon needles. So they're kind of one and the same. They make a huge difference using Janome or Oregon needles, which you can get from your Janome dealer. That's the way to go with these machines. They love these Oregon or Japanese needles. Okay, it makes a huge difference. And have a nice selection. You know, when you have a few extra dollars and you're just like, oh, I don't know what I want to get yourself some more needles and just keep them on hand. All
Should you always set your seams?
I do. I try to. Yes. And I've got water in here. I do like steam. Steam is our friend. And it gives you some really nice points. And again, using it with that wool. Of course, it does kind of smell like damp dog in here, but it doesn't. It's away from the moist heat. Okay, we are done with our block. Here we go. Woohoo!
Yay!
All right. How are you all doing out there? Wasn't that fun? And pretty easy when it comes right down to it, right? Pretty darn easy. Okay, we are going to move on to the next one here.
What type of thread are you using before?
I am using, this is imperative. You want 50 weight cotton thread. There's lots of good brands out there. I love Orifil. I know Superior has some. Sulky has a new 50 weight cotton called Cotton and Steel. It's fabulous. It's very low lint. I love it. There's just lots of brands, but you do want 50 weight cotton. Because here's the thing, when you're using moisture in your iron, even if you don't push the button for steam, the heat coming out of there is moist and it causes those threads to sink down in and go, and they sink down in, they hold on to your fabric and it gives it a lot of stability, especially when you're working with bias edges.
Does it really make that noise?
I think so. If you lean down and listen. All right, moving along, let's go back over. We got to go to block H. GH, here we go. Oh, wait, we're underneath the table here. All right, let's go get block H. I've got it set out over here. Here we go. All right. Oh, this one's pretty. This one, this might be my most favorite of all the blocks. I absolutely love this block. Here we go. And I've got everything ready here. See that? I'm all prepared. This is what we're making. Isn't it pretty? I just love this one. Now, I think it would be fun to make a whole quilt like this and gradate all the blocks with different colors. Oh, I think that would be so beautiful. So this one has a lot of potential. Now, you'll notice that we have a big purple square there, right? And there's a couple things I want to demo about this. We are getting that big purple square out of our 2.5 inch strip. We just have to piece it. But I wanted to do this so you can see that you don't always have to make just little small 2.5 inch finished or 2 inch finished units with 2.5 inch strips. So let's talk about this. I have all my fabric set aside that we would need, and I know you all have already cut all of yours. Here's all my pretty fabrics that I pulled ahead of time and then cut them all out. The one thing I want to really focus on here, and somebody had asked the question, how do you cut that 6.5 inch background triangle from your 6.5 by 7 inch rectangle? Well, here's what you're going to do. I have already cut my rectangles, okay? And you only need one, but I just cut it double, and it's okay. And what we're going to do is we are using side B of the ruler. Side B is the mint green side. All right, this is what we want to use. We are going to be aligning this 6.5 inch mark and this line all the way down here with the bottom of that 6.5 by 7 inch rectangle. So let's go here and go ahead and get this cut. Can you come over here? And I'm putting it right on my background. So here is my rectangle. The 6.5 inches is this way and the 7 inches is this way. And I had you cut that rectangle just so it was a little bit bigger so that we could get this unit out of there. So here's our 6.5 inch line right on the bottom of this. And what we're going to do is use our rotary cutter. Now you'll see that there's a lopped off edge there. You do not have to cut this off. I'm just going to start with my rotary blade in the fabric a little bit higher than down here because I want to have it aligned with the ruler. All right, and I'm cutting into the fabric. You back up just a smidgen and then go all the way up to the end. All right, So this is what you would take away. We have that lopped off edge here. You can leave the point here. That's absolutely fine for this. And that's how you cut that side B 6.5 inch triangle. What we're going to do with that is, after I show you how to piece this large triangle, is that background triangle is going to go right sides together, and we're going to make a giant half square triangle. So let's go over to the sewing machine and get this piece together. Are you ready? Okay, did everyone get that, do you think?
I think so.
All right, let's take this, all of this back over, and you can set it up. There we go. I love this block. Anyone else love this block as much as I do? All right, here we go. So the first thing we want to do is piece that center part of the block, that large half square triangle. That's the very first thing we want to do. And I've got the step outs right here. This is the unit that we want to piece with the little 2.5 inch units. So in the directions, it told you to cut a 2.5 by 4.5 inch rectangle, one 2.5 inch square, and 3 side B triangles from your purple 2.5 inch strip. Am I calling it right? I think it's violet. I'm sorry. It is violet. I need to call these the right things. So you need 3 violet triangles, your square and your rectangle. Now let's piece this all together. The first thing I want to do is I want to lay it out so it looks like the shape that we're going for, okay? So let's take the rectangle and the little triangle here, and let's fold it right sides together. Okay, and we'll put it like this. And now we're just going to sew that together. Now, just leave that there. Let's put the square and the next triangle together. Fold that right sides together. Line up the little lopped off or flat edge of that triangle. Turn it around and sew those pieces together. All right, and then we're going to cut. All right, and then we're going to press towards the square and the rectangle. All right, it really doesn't matter here. So just give those a quick press. Actually, it does matter. I said that, and it does matter. Press one way, and the next one, no, it doesn't matter. I'm making this up as I go. That's not true. It's just hard to remember all these things. All right. I hope the rest of you understand me. All right, here we go. What I did now, let me lay this back down so you can see exactly what's going on here. Okay, we have any questions, Mr. Kim?
So Robin says, I'm assuming that's a typo for violet. Cut 3 instead of 5?
Yes. Is there a typo? No, we need 5. You need 5 because we have them in the outer blocks. You do need 5 total. You just need 3 for the center part. Good question. Good one. But we do need 5. All right.
Good catch. Yep.
Yep. All right. So now let's just take our scissors and just cut off that little dog ear there. If you have any dog ears left over from your triangles, just get rid of those. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this top triangle, fold it right sides together across this unit that we just sewed with the square and the triangle, and we're going to sew a seam right there. All right. Let's just line those edges and sew. All right, and then we're going to press that, and I like to press away from the square on this one. Okay. All right, and this is what it would look like, and here we go. This is what it's looking like so far. Can they see that?
Yes.
And we're going to, again, take your scissors and get rid of the dog ear, okay? Just cut straight across here. You don't have to measure a square or true anything up yet. Just get rid of that. And now we're going to sew this larger triangle to this unit right here. Fold this right sides together. Line up the raw edges. And I'm going to push this back so they can really see. All right, and we're just going to sew all the way to the end. There we go, and cut. And our big triangle is all assembled. Yes, there we go. All right.
I love the way those scissors really help you out.
Oh, the Karen K. Buckley scissors, they're
Yeah.
amazing. I love them. She has all these different sizes and they're fabulous. They have these micro serrated edges. They are just beautiful.
It's a nice
really,
little bag there.
It's really, yeah, we did that in one of our little done before dinner projects. Okay, here we go. That's done. Now we want to take, and I have another one here. This is the reason for step outs, but once you have that done, you want to put your background fabric, 6.5 inch fabric triangle on top, line up the edges, and let's go ahead and sew those together. All right, just don't pull on it because there's a lot of bias there. Again, this is why you want to set your seams when you're pressing so it can totally stabilize that bias edge. Here we go. And now we are going to press towards the background, okay? So let's go over here. Let's set the seam. I am using just a little press of steam here. Can they all see? Are we close enough here?
Yeah, they can see it.
And now we're going to just open this triangle and press toward the background. There we go. All right. Now I probably would take this over and square it up, but I don't want Mr. Kim to have to get up just for one quick little square up, and I'm pretty darn sure this is very, very close to size. But if you want to true this up, it should be 6.5 inches unfinished, all right? And I've cut all the little schmutz off. Yes?
Did you press towards the rectangle unit?
No, you press towards the background. Whatever color, even though I have white, I'm pressing towards the background. All right, there we go. This one's done. Now we need to go on to do the borders, okay? And we're gonna go over here like this, and I have all these laid out.
Millie says it's a little too fast for her to understand. She can go back and review it over and over again.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Please don't feel like you have to keep up the whole time. Just do what you can. That's the beauty of this medium, of having this, even though it's a live class. And I'm just trying to keep going because I know we are kind of, again, getting a little short on time. And I want to be mindful of that so we can get through everything. But please, when you go back to watch this, just hit pause, get caught up to where I am, hit the play, go a little bit further, hit pause again. That's all you need to do. Okay, so because we are at, what are we at, 2:15? Are we at 2:15? On the West Coast, we're at 11:15. And I still have another block to do. What we want to do is I am going to sew a few of these, but you all know how to sew half square triangles, right? We know how to do this. I will sew a few of these together, but then I have my step outs here ready to go so we can make up a little time to get to block I. So we have done a lot of these half square triangles today already, and all you would do is go ahead and put your background fabric triangles with your colored triangles. They could be exactly like we've done here with solidish, or you could make up your own colors. This is a totally liberating pattern that you can take as much liberty with as you want and make it anything that you want to make it. But there is plenty of the fabric strips to make it exactly as shown. Yes?
What is RSU and RSD?
Right side up and right side down. That's most important if your background fabric is a print. Now, yeah, you would want to kind of follow along with that whenever possible, but that's what it means, right side up and right side down. So I've done a few of those, but I know you all know how to sew these little half square triangles. So just to make up a little time, and please don't panic because we do need to get to that last block, we're going to just set these aside, and through the magic of preparation, I have done the layout and done some extra of these half square triangles and lay them out so we can sew the block together. So let's pretend you're this far, and we're just going to lay this out here. I'm going to turn it around so you can see it from your perspective, and here's how we've done it. So it makes this really beautiful gradated look. I just love this. Where is my finished half square triangle that I just sewed? Here it is. Here we go. Here we go. right here. All right, so now, where do we go? Right here. Here it is. It goes right in the center here, and I'm going to lay it out around, turn it around. Here's what we're going to do. All right, now I'm going to sew these together. When you are taking time to lay out your half square triangles, make sure that you follow the instructions or the directions very carefully so that you have them turned in all the right way so that the spikes are all going in the same direction. So my spike is all going in this direction. All the spikes should be in the same direction. It is kind of easy to get them flipped around like this or like this, but you can see that if you get them out of sequence, it doesn't look real good. So it's really important to keep them so all the spikes are going in the proper direction. So once you've done that, let's just sew these three together, and then I'll sew these three together. So I'm going to kind of spin these around here without changing the orientation of any of those, and then just put them right sides together and sew. All right, and you can keep going wherever you're at and keep sewing. You don't have to be here. All right, just keep sewing. You'll be able to go back and finish this later today or tomorrow or whenever. It's all right. We just need to be mindful of your time, and boy, if it was up to me, I'd stay here all afternoon and sew with you. That would be fun. All right, now those little three are done. Okay, and be sure to follow the pressing direction that's listed right here on your handouts. In this case, I need to press towards the fuchsia. So I'm going to press all these seams in one direction. There we go. And make sure that you turn it over and press it on the right side too, if you start on the back side when you're pressing, so that you make sure there's no little puckers or tucks in these seams. You want to make sure that they're nice and flat. And now let's do the blues over here. We have Sky, Sapphire, and Royal. I can't believe I remembered that. All right, let's put all these right sides together. Any more questions?
Yes, so can the middle color triangle be cut out whole instead of being pieced?
Not with just the jelly roll. There's no way to do it with just a jelly roll. And that was, if you have yardage, yes, by all means. And that would be either a 6.5 side B triangle. So you would have a 6.5 inch strip of your fabric, and you would use side B of the ruler. Or if you didn't have the ruler, the traditional cutting would have been 6 7/8 inch square, cut once diagonally. And you could get your center triangle from a 6 7/8 inch square. No problem. Okay, good question, whoever asked that. That was a good one. All right, now we're pressing towards the sky, which is the lighter color. So let's make sure we press those. Those were good questions. Any others?
No, that's it for now.
That's the beauty of doing it sort of as a sew-along. I get to hear more from you and see what you're doing. And I love to hear from you. So by all means, keep the comments coming. Now, can you see where we're at? We're ready to sew these two units that have 3 half square triangles onto either side of your big triangle. Again, make sure you take the time to lay it down first and compare it to the diagram in your your instructions to make sure that you've got them laying exactly as they should be. Then line the raw edges and sew these together, and then we're going to press. Okay. Okay, and we talked about Nancy Fiedler earlier. She was invaluable with this pattern. She road tested it and made it and checked all my measurements and math, and she was amazing. I love you, Nancy. You are brilliant. You're like the Janome encyclopedia. All right, now this seam gets pressed toward the purple, big purple or violet triangle. So we want our perfect points, which we got, all right? But we want to press the seam toward the large violet triangle.
So okay. April wants to know when you're going to be ironing with the strip stick again.
Oh, next block for sure. We have little tiny 4 patches that need it. Okay, here, I use it especially when I'm opening seams. but here the pressing was pretty definite by the way that we needed everything to snuggle, so it's just easier to press it to one side. Okay, good question, April. Yay. But I keep it right on my ironing board. Oh, it's so fun. I actually sell these units when I teach classes in Houston or wherever I am, and people will come back the following year and they'll say, oh, I got that strip stick last year. And I will say, where is it? And they'll say, I put it in a drawer. And I always say, it doesn't work in a drawer. You have to let it live on your ironing board. You need it to be handy where you're going to use it a lot. Okay, yeah. Alrighty, here we go. And this one, the seam gets pressed towards the center triangle again. Okay, press that seam inward like this. Hitting it with some steam there. I think I need a drink of some of my tea. Forgive me for that, I'm getting a little dry. Okay, now it's time to add the top and the bottom row. And that's all there is to it. I cannot wait to see your quilt. Okay, now I'm going to flip this over like this.
Okay, here's an off-topic question. Have you ever made the card trick block using your rulers?
I haven't, but you absolutely could. You absolutely could do it. That's a great question. That's a great comment.
Here's another great comment. I've had mine for over a year and pulled it out of the drawer after the last class.
Yay! Who was that? Oh, I am so...
With Sandy.
Sandy, I'm so proud of you. You just made my whole day. Now let it live on your ironing board. Bravo. That's fun. Okay. Oh, I love it. See, you all are just awesome. You are awesome friends. All right, now this seam can be pressed away. All right. And
Doreen wants to know when you're coming to Europe again.
oh, as soon as they open the borders. My goodness, I can't wait to get back there. Where in Europe are you? I'll come see you. We would love to. In fact, we were actually talking about planning a trip back over to Europe. But until things kind of settle down, I don't know that we can. All right, line up those points at the intersections. And here we go.
Where do you purchase strip sticks?
You just go to thestripstick.com. It's thestripstick.com. Or you can Google it. A lot of different places have them. Try your local Janome dealers first, or ask them to order them. I know a lot of them would just be happy to hear of a really great tool that they need to carry for their customers. So you need to let them know this is a great tool. They should order it and get it in, and then more people can enjoy it. And the couple that manufactures these, they are just the nicest people in the world. And they were hit very hard by Hurricane Harvey. And so I know this means a lot to support small businesses during tough times. Okay, our block is done. Yay, our block is done. All right, so because we have 35 minutes left or thereabouts, we're gonna move on to block I. I'm gonna put all this away here. This is going so well, wouldn't you say? I know it's a little fast. Don't worry. You can pause and get caught up later on. And let's go here.
As we're transitioning to the next block, another question was, what length of strip stick do you recommend?
Oh, I like this one. I think it is 18 inches. This one is 18 inches. They also have one. This fits really well in my suit, in my luggage when I travel. And yes, I do take it with me when we travel in case I'm sewing or piecing wherever we are. Yes.
Or if she needs to beat me with it.
No, you know that's not true, Mr. Kim.
Well, it's fun to say.
Tell falsehoods. But there's also one now that is a fat quarter size, and I think it is 20 inches or 22 inches long. And that one is also very fabulous. In fact, it might be on my ironing board back there. I had two over there. All right, Yay! How are you all doing out there? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a smile or a heart or something if you all are doing okay, because we are just cruising here.
Lots of hearts, thumbs up.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm hearting you right back. Okay, next block is block I. Isn't this pretty? It's not hard at all. It's got some pesky little 1.5-inch squares in there, which I'm sure you all are aware of because you had to cut them out. But let's go ahead and talk here. Here's all the colors I started with, background and then lime and orange and cherry and green and this was citrus, lime and azure. It's hard to keep track of all those.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, I know. All right, so this is what you started with. I'll put that aside. And now I have all my pieces already cut. Again, it was a lot of squares and rectangles and little itty bitty squares. And then just your little half square triangle, your little side bead triangles. So let's move this all over to the sewing machine and we'll get sewing. And I think we're doing great actually on time. And we'll try to get through all of this. All right, and this goes pretty fast because we're going to start with just our double rectangle units. To start, I'm going to lay the block out here so you can kind of see it. I've got my little diagrams.
It's a little too far away.
Oh, okay. How about here? Can they see that? Let's move it this way. It's good. Okay, because we need to have room for the pieces. All right, so the first thing we need to do is put a citrus square right in the middle. The next thing we're going to need are our lime and azure rectangles. These are 2.5 by 1.5-inch rectangles, and all we're going to do is chain piece these together. So let's do an azure and a lime together. And
if you want them to see the block, you put it on the Steady Betty until you're
yeah, there
ironing.
you go. There you go. That's the block right there. Good deal. See? That's why I pay you the big bucks.
So the question is, when will the video be posted so that if she can stop and just watch you and then go back to it?
Yeah, right after. We post it almost immediately. I mean, it takes maybe a couple minutes, 5 minutes to upload. It's going to be posted right away. Yeah, it's live. I don't get a do-over or I don't get anyone to edit all the flubs and silly things that happen. And where's Cheeto in all of this? Is he sleeping somewhere?
He was here just a minute ago.
Sleeping on the job.
Pam Ewison says you bring sunshine into her sewing room.
Oh, Pam! I just love you so much. Pam's a very good friend of ours. Pam and her husband, John, they are amazing people. I just sending light and love to you. Big hugs in Virginia. Okay, there's our little rectangle units, and these get pressed toward the azure. All right, so let's do that real quick. Press towards the azure, towards the ocean. Okay, yeah, so don't feel like you have to keep up. If you can sew a little, great. You know, if you can get a couple units sewn while we're here doing this talking, great. That's perfect. I love it. Any other good questions or bad questions? Or just happy comments?
I think Suzanne was saying that the block H is Lady of the Lake. Does that sound familiar?
It could be. Very well could be. Now, the next thing we're going to do is start laying these out. Azure, that's the blue, goes around the citrus, and then we need to add our background squares to the lime, like this. See, it's not so bad. This is actually a really fun block. So let's do that. Let's just pick up our background 2.5-inch squares and sew these right to the line. Just make sure you're not sewing them to the blue, only the green, okay? Just chain piece all of these.
So here's a good one for you. Susie Jessel says, this is the first time I've seen you teach live. You are a wonderful teacher.
Oh, Susie. Hi, Susie. Oh, how are you and Tim? Oh, my goodness. Susie and her husband, Tim, basically helped me get my start in life. When I came out of college, they were alumni of Miami University, same as me, and I looked them up in Orlando, and I went to stay for a couple weeks, and I think I stayed for 6 months. They were so good to me. I love you. Thank you so much for being here. Oh gosh, we need to get back in touch. We really do. I haven't talked to you in a while. Oh my goodness. I love them.
Somebody wants to know what type of iron that is.
This is a Panasonic cordless iron, and I love it. I also have a Rowenta professional steam iron that I also use, but it's over behind Mr. Kim, and for what we're doing today, this does the trick. But then I finish everything with that. Oh, and you should walk over and turn that on with my Elna press. Oh Lord, that makes such a difference. That Elna press is amazing for quilting when you're pressing your blocks and other things. All right, so now you can see that we've got this done. We want to sew 2 of these units to that citrus square. We're going to get that done and basically we're just finishing the center row. See, can you believe that? We're finishing the center row already. Okay, awesome.
Why are you using a white background when the block has colors? I don't see the white.
Oh, I know you don't. That's a great question, but I've already done the quilt several times with black, and it is determined that on camera, especially when we don't have close-ups, it is harder to see the sewing on the black, and I thought it would be fun to show the finished quilt done in a light color. It's just when we were doing more technique-driven things where Mr. Kim was zooming in, it's easier to see it without the black. So the black sort of doesn't do real well, so that's why we're doing it this way. Just to be different. Yeah, that is. Kind of wanted, and not everybody wanted a dark background, so I thought, well, this time I'll be different. Make it a little more fun. All right. Press the seam out away from the citrus. Now, we're just going to set these aside for the moment, and now we're going to make our little 4 patches. Now, these are not hard to do, but they're pesky, all right? They're not difficult at all, but you just need to be aware of what you're doing. So the first thing we're going to do is take our lime green and our cherry colors, all right? We need lime green and cherry, line those up, and we use background squares. These are all 1.5 inch cut squares, and we use our background fabric squares to make those little 4 patches. That's the first 4 patch. The other 4 patch is cherry and azure, and we're going to put those like this, and then we're using our orange for, it's not really background, but that's our second. Here, let's see if we can do this so that you all can, no, that won't work. Can they see it over here?
Yes.
Okay. There's the background, and here's the other one. I think you can see that right here. So let's just chain piece these right now. All right, we'll at least do a couple. Actually, I think we're pretty good on time.
So as you're doing that, do you use EQ8 software to design your beautiful quilts?
I do. Let me tell you, I have used electric quilt software since it was version 3, and that was like 1992. And I have used it. Oh my goodness, I can't even design without it. It's amazing. So actually, I do have some companion software products through EQ that kind of mirrored the quilts in my book that would, expand the repertoire. But I love electric quilt, and especially now for all you people who have version 6 or 7 and maybe don't use it so much, oh my goodness, let me tell you, version 8 is a completely easier, usable, wonderful interface that it's so intuitive. It really makes all the difference in the world. So if you have an earlier version, upgrade to 8 if you're interested in designing your own quilts, because 8 is the best version they ever did. No kidding. It is just fabulous. That is a good question.
Somebody asked if they could get a peek of the back of the quilt. Will we be doing that at some point?
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. It's I think it's just, it's kind of a red swirl fabric. I don't know how much you can see as far as the quilting, but we can get close-ups of the quilting at some point. It's just kind of wavy lines, very modern. It's not real fancy quilting at all, and it's certainly quilting that you can do on your own machine, because this isn't a big quilt, and you can do this on your machines. Okay, now that's all those. All right, and now, here we go. I'm gonna just separate them like this, and now we'll do the next ones. We've got the green, the cherry, and the backgrounds. And we're just gonna chain piece these.
So as you're going through this, Sandy Ramsberg says she's new to quilting. What are the best rulers to use for cutting the blocks?
Well, I'm kind of partial to my rulers, Sandy. They're the Precision Pre-Cuts, the Precision Jelly Roll Ruler, and the Precision Flying Geese and Half Scroll Triangle Ruler. Okay, that's a little shameless plug there. I am partial to them because they do make it so easy to not waste fabric, and you don't have to think about the math. But I personally like any rulers that are not frosted. I know some people may love rulers that have kind of a frosted look to them, or a, I don't want to say grayed out look. I find that for me, I'd rather have clear rulers. You're going to need a 6 by 24 inch ruler at the very least that has 45-degree and 60-degree lines on it. And if you only had one ruler on a desert island for the rest of your life, the 6 by 24 ruler is probably the way to go, because you can do so much with it. But the more you get into this, the more you're going to find there are a lot of rulers that do a lot of different things, and that's good because you want to have the right tools to do different things. So that was a good question.
And if she goes back and watches all of the classes,
Yeah.
she'll get to learn all of your rulers and how well it
And
works.
how they work and why they work so well, because of the colored lines that make it easy for you to see exactly what you're cutting, and then you don't waste fabric and you don't strain your eyes. Okay, so here, this time we are going to go ahead and press these.
Is there a website for your rulers and books?
Yes, www.kimberlyeinmo, all one word, .com. So that's a great question. Thank you. So it's KimberlyEinmo.com.
Could you cut rectangles, and sew together, then cut down to size for the 4 patches?
Yes, you absolutely could. You could have cut strips. You could have cut strips. It was just a little more wasted fabric because you didn't need that much. So I didn't want you to cut an entire strip. I didn't want you to take an entire 2.5 inch strip and cut it down to 1.5, because you're going to need these fabrics later on. And that was something I thought long and hard about, actually, was doing those, because that would have been a little bit easier. But I thought, well, we're only making 8 4 patches, and this way you're not wasting more fabric than you need. So, but yes, you absolutely could have.
Do you have more than 3 rulers?
I do. I have a pineapple ruler too that's kind of getting a redo, and I am in the process of designing a couple new ones. So I'm excited about those. They're just not quite here yet, but they're in the works, along with some other new fun things.
Doreen would like to know if there is a seam that I have to take into the pieces.
A seam to take into the pieces. Not sure I understand. Could you be a little more clear about that?
Yeah, Doreen's the one from Europe. So
Doreen, yes, seam to take into the pieces. We're gonna, I'm not sure, we're gonna be sewing these together. There are seams, but they will snuggle. So what I'm doing here is I'm pressing towards the color. You could press towards the background, but just be consistent. So I'm pressing them all towards the greens, the reds, and the azures. That's all you need to remember here. Or if you're going to press towards the background color and the oranges, that's fine too. Let's just be consistent. Okay, so that the seams will snuggle. Yes, all right, here we go. We're almost there. I'm going to do a couple of these, and then we're going to do our half square triangles. I'm going to do one each. All right. Okay, so how we're going to lay these out, and can they see me if I work right here?
yes, they can.
Perfect. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to lay these out so that they look like this, okay? So we have the background fabric is opposing, and the red and the green is opposing. And here, when we line up our azures and oranges, we've got them opposing like this. And we're going to sew these little itty bitty cutie patootie 4 patches. All right, so here I'm going to take one each of these, and then we're going to use the strip stick. Yay! So you're going to take these, make sure they're opposing, and put them right sides together. Now, I could sew this way with the seam facing toward me, but I'm going to spin it around so my seam, where's my little scissors, Mr. Kim? Do you
Over
see
on by the block.
They're there. So my seam allowance, the fold, it's facing toward the presser foot. Now we want to do this so that the seam, this little flap here, is facing toward the presser foot, because when you go over that, the presser foot and the feed dog smash the point together and you get a perfect little point, and it's just amazing. So it's the little things that make me so happy. All right, here we go. Let's just hold those in line. Again, snuggle those seams, align the raw edges. Use your scissors if you have to keep that little seam allowance tucked under the presser foot. There we go. Now, Christmas morning right here. You ready for this? All right. Woohoo! It is perfect. I love it. All right, so you want to make your little 4 patches. Let's do one of these little doobers right here.
Doober, is that an official term?
Yes. Again, when you put them right sides together, spin it around so that the seam allowance is facing toward the little flap, I guess you would call it, the seam allowance, is facing toward the presser foot. If you did it the other way, yeah, it may be easier to roll over that seam, but then the feed dogs and the presser feet will the presser foot will go and pull it apart just ever so slightly. We want it all kind of mashed in there, nice and perfect and beautiful, and then you will never need a pin. Yay, look at that, look at that, yes, 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 it's perfect. All right, now I'm only doing 2 because I've already made all of my other ones, and we got to get to the half square triangles. But now you want to set the seam of these little guys, okay? And then we're going to use the strip stick. Now, if you've never used the strip stick before, it's like a little half round that's covered with fire-resistant material and muslin. And what we want to do is we want to open the little 4 patch over the strip stick and get our fingernail or our finger in there just to pull it apart. And then we want to just press that seam open. All right, and I like to give it a little spray of your steam. Turn it over, steam it, and just hold it there for a second. And it is perfectly flat. Because we pressed that last seam open, there is no lumps, no bumps, no cellulite in your seams. It's just flat and pretty and perfect. I get so excited about these. So you can go ahead and do all of yours. I'm just going to do this one too. Press that seam open. The great thing about the strip stick is then the rest of your seams, which were pressed deliberately in a direction, will not get flipped the wrong way. Whereas sometimes if you're laying on a flat surface and you're trying to press these little 1/4 inch seams open, some of the seams get kind of flipped around. That will never happen. See, it's just completely flat and perfect, and you have the most beautiful little point. All right, so let's get those done. And then the last thing.
Ask for lots of hearts because that was pretty special.
Yeah, the last thing we want to do here is we want to sew some of our half square triangles. And again, I'll just do a couple. This is with your orange and your background fabric. All right, I'll just do a couple of these. But again, we are absolute half square triangle pros. Now, in our next class, which is 2 weeks from now on July 25th, do plan for maybe 2.5 hours, because we have a lot of ground to cover and we have a lot to do with flying geese. So I'm going to see if we can maybe extend a half hour or so, if the good Janome folks will let me do that, so that we can get a little more done, because we're really going to get into flying geese and how to make them. And so, of course, you're going to finish making 8 of these, right? Okay, let's go on to the step outs here that I've already done magically. Woohoo! All right, here it is. Everything's laid out. Here we go. Yes, I spend hours doing this just so I'll have everything done. All right, here we go. Here's what we've got. I've got one already sewn, but let's go ahead and sew some of these so we can get these little cute 4 patches together. And then I'm going to show you again the pressing trick that we will use to make sure that we don't need to do anything with pins to get these 4 little pieces together. So lay them out so we have it going, and I'm going to turn this to your orientation. You have green and red with the background, and then azure touching the red here and red. So what you don't want is you don't want your reds together, all right? We want red, azure, red, green, and we want these little orange units like this, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to take the top right and fold it over the top left. That means a half square triangle on top of your little 4 patch. Oh, I'll need you to heat that again. My press just shut off. And now, without breaking the chain, leave this chained, maybe 6 stitches in between. Take the next little 4 patch unit and put it on top of your little half square triangle right here like this, okay? And stitch that together. Now, all right. And I'm going to do this a couple times because I want you to learn this trick. This is a great trick. Now we have these chained, right? There's not much we can do to hurt it. It's not going to go anywhere. We're going to take this over to the pressing mat and lay it out so that our stitching is kind of horizontal to you. It's not vertical, it's horizontal, all right? Now you've got a right side and a left side. This is my right hand, this is my right side, this is my left. Take the left unit and fold it away from you. So now I see the stitching is right here, okay? Now we're gonna take our iron and we're gonna press the seam on the right away from your body. Take this little unit, pull it towards you, and we're going to press the seam on the left side towards your body, okay? And this will take a little bit of practice on your part to kind of get this method down, but oh my goodness, it's so worth it. Again, when you're doing this, you want to press the seam on the right side, to your right, press that seam away from your body, and the one that's on your left, take that and bring the seam toward your body. Now we've got the chain, the thread chain in between, so we know where the seam has to be sewn because we're going to flip that right sides together and we can see that little chain. There's a little tiny little chain of fabric. That's the side that needs to be sewn. This will keep you from getting confused or disoriented when you get to your machine. We're going to line up the raw edges. Now the seams will snuggle exactly perfectly in the orientation they should. When you get to that center point, that seam will face the presser foot. It will smash the little point together in the center. More Christmas morning presents to open right here. Do you have any comments or questions?
Yes, Sharon would like to know where we can buy your rulers in Canada.
Oh, we'll ship to Canada. I don't know of a distributor in Canada, but you know, the website or any of the Janome dealers can get them through Janome. Janome does carry them, and any of those dealers up there can get them. So this is absolutely perfect. So now what we're going to do is we can press this open, or you can press it to one side. Here, it really, truly doesn't matter. I think, no, it doesn't. We've already got the seams pressed the right way for the next row. So this one, I'm going to press open because everything is, we've already taken into account all the pressing, and it will line up when you put your rows together. So let's just press this unit open again. So what we're doing is we're reducing the bulk of all those seams and things in that last seam, and we're making it all nice and pretty and flat. So it will lay perfectly flat. And we have perfect points. Want to see that all again? I've got more to do. So let's do that again so we can get the block together. All right. We're going to take this, put it over here. Take your top right, put it over the top left. Okay.
You're getting some good thumbs up.
Keep the chain in between the units. Don't break the chain. Line up your raw edges of your little half square triangles and your 4 patches. And I've got, oh, this one I'd already connected. So I'm going to put that right sides together, and let's finish that one because we want to get this block together and all the blocks pressed. And we're doing great on time. Yay. All right. You all are so sweet to join us. We are just honored that you are here with us. Hey, Cheeto. Where's our Cheeto Puff? You think if I open the drawer? Cheeto. Oh, here he comes. He knows. Come on, baby. Come on. Come and say hi to everyone. Come on. Come on. Yeah, I know. I hear you. All right. So now this one's ready to completely just press open. And this, we're going to do that pressing trick again. Remember? Come on. Come on, bud. Come on. Hey, come on. It's okay. Come on. Come on, bud. All right. Lay them out so that seam is horizontal to your body. Take the right side, press it away. Fold it away. He's a little bug. Oh my goodness. Set the seam. On the right unit, press the seam away from your body. On the left unit, press the seam toward your body. Okay? This works every time you have some sort of 4 patch. It works every time. Any kind of 4 patch, no matter what you're sewing together, no matter how large, this trick works. If you can learn this trick, oh my goodness, this is going to make life so much better as you're piecing blocks and quilts together. All right, we got another unit done right there.
Just to confirm, Joyce wants to know if you use a dry iron or steam. You use steam.
I do. Now, some people don't like steam, and that's okay, but here's what I would recommend. If you don't like steam, still put water into the reservoir of your iron, and then don't hit the steam button. Keep the steam button turned off, but the heat coming out of your iron is moist, and the moisture makes those threads sink down in. So you don't have to hit the steam button. You really don't. But the moisture coming out will be moist heat, and it will allow your thread, your cotton thread, to totally stabilize your seams. That's why it's so good. I love that for that reason. And I find that most people who say, oh, I don't like to use steam, that's okay. They will still get good results using a moist heated iron. So that was a great question.
So Sarah would like to know if there is batting on the half square under the muslin.
There is something under there. I've never opened it up. It's a very thin bat, but I know it's all flame retardant. So whatever's under there, and then it's just muslin on top. So they're very cautious about that. So it is a tiny bit padded. It's not just solid wood under there, but it's not super puffy. That was a great question. All right. And then when you fold it over, it's perfect. Okay, I wanted you to come say hi, but I think you're in the way now. That's all right. This is what we do, he and I. Now, all right, here we go. I'm going to move this block and pull this back just a little so that you can see. And for the person who wanted to see it with the dark background, I have one ready to go in that too. All right, so here's what we have. We have that center strip that we already sewed. We're going to sew this little 4-patch unit right here to our little rectangle unit and another 4-patch unit. So again, we're kind of making a big 9 patch, kind of an uneven 9 patch. We'll sew this in a row, and then we'll sew this row to the center row and this last row to the center row, and that's all there is to it. So you can see it with the dark background, and now you can see the same thing with the light, and that's what I'm going to sew right here. Is I am going to take these little units and sew it together. So it's really not so hard at all, is it? I think we're doing great.
Somebody wants to know what machine you're using.
The Continental M7. Oh my goodness. Oh, and I know this is a little ways away, but my goodness, I have a great done before dinner project to share with you on my next Facebook Live coming up. I think it's July 20th. I'll have to look. But if you haven't been following my Facebook Lives on the Janome sewing machine pages, I have been doing these fun projects called Done Before Dinner, where we just take some ordinary things and we make cute little gifts and fun things that are not necessarily quilty, but it does help you get to know your machines better and use your decorative stitches and things. No matter what machine you have, what model you have, you can make these fun Done Before Dinner projects, and I've got some more great ones planned. So be sure and stay tuned. We're still doing videos. We're moving to a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday format on the Facebook Lives that we're doing. And then we're going to be doing classes every Tuesday, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong there, ladies. I think it's every Tuesday. Is that right? And we'll be having our classes with all kinds of different educators, different fun things coming up. And I've got some super projects planned for you all. And I've been promising to show you what I did with the end of Mr. Kim's jeans, and I still have that to show you. And that's going to be really fun. So here.
You mean I haven't been wearing them?
Well, 2 pairs did disappear from our closet, dear.
So there have been a lot of comments about watch out for Cheeto's tail.
Oh,
what they don't realize is that you and Cheeto have been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, Cheeto he always helps me, and I am very careful. I promise you, I would not do anything to jeopardize this kitty or hurt him. So we're very careful. And when he gets too close, I move him. But he's pretty far away from the needle, and he doesn't jump in and get right under the needle. But we're very careful.
Here's a question I can answer. So Linda would like somebody to spell out the name of the machine or post it. M7. How'd I do? Otherwise, yeah. Continental also.
Continental.
M7.
M7. Yeah, this one is. I can't even tell you how amazing it is. It is super. Does it all. It is not an embroidery machine, though. If you want an embroidery machine, you would either want to look at maybe the 550E or the 15,000 would be a good thing to look at. But you're going to want to.
And you have both, the M7 and the 15,000, so you can be doing embroidery while it's going, you can be sewing. That
is absolutely true. I've actually done that. Because I can, like when I'm embroidering masks, I can be sewing on the M7 and just doing masks, embroidering designs on the masks. Okay, 3 more seams, people. Oh, kitty puss. There we go. All right, let's just make sure we're going in the right direction here. All right. And are you all enjoying these classes? Because I would love to keep doing either sew-alongs or maybe another block of the month or a row quilt or something coming up. Just think if there's enough people that would be interested in continuing classes like this, we can certainly make that happen. And it certainly has been a blessing to be able to have this wonderful community that didn't even exist before COVID-19. So there's a silver lining in every dark storm cloud, and not that I would have ever wished for this virus to affect the world in the way that it has, but since it did, the fact that we have this amazing community of sewists and enthusiasts has been tremendous.
You're starting a tidal wave. Lots of people saying they want more classes.
Oh, good. Good, thank you. That is good. All right, let's press these open here. This seems away from the center. All right, and then we are ready to sew the last seam together. Can you make sure that that press is hot? I want to give all my new blocks a press on a good solid steam press on the element press, because if you ever find that your blocks aren't laying right, or I don't know, they're just a skitch just too short, press them on a press and oh my goodness, they are so flat and pretty. It's just an amazing thing. Okay, here we go. And you'll notice you've got everything pressed properly, and you don't need pins. You really and truly don't need your pins to line everything up. You can use pins. You can. I'm not saying don't use them. I'm just saying I kind of prefer just lining everything up and stitching a little at a time. Here we go.
Somebody wants you to do a class with the AccuQuilt Go.
Oh, that's fun too. Those are really fun. Hey, did anyone try the curved piecing that I demoed on my last live? Are you in love with the curved piecing and how awesome it is? Oh, I love curved piecing now. Never used to, but now I love it. Okay, everyone. And it's a good thing because I'm about out of water in this. All right, we have our blocks done. Yay! Okay, so let's go over and give them all a good press. I gotta find them. Where did I put them all, sweetie? The white ones. Let me see. I think I've got some over here. Any more questions coming in? Here's a white one. There we go. Not that we don't want the dark ones, but
more people are just saying, oh yes, more classes, more anything you give.
Thank you all. You know how to make a girl feel good. Okay, Mr. Kim, we need you to move the camera. And let's get this up. Oh, it's been great. And the timing was just about right on this, right? Okay, let's go over and give these blocks a thorough press. Oh, Cheeto's helping with the cords, of course. First one. You can just get a 10-inch block in here. And we're going to press this down. And, oh, wait, you know what? I'm going to give it a steam with my little vapor jet here. Now we'll do it. And it's so great because it will tell you when it's done. And it won't scorch or anything. These things are amazing. Here you go. Now it's a little toasty, so you want to be careful, but it is flat as a flat pancake. Let's do the next one. That one, here we go. Put that in there. Give it a little spritz. Close it. This will make it great. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what we're going to do for next time. Once you get cut what you can ahead for the last 3 blocks. Don't cut anything with the side A of the ruler yet if you don't feel comfortable doing so.
Hold on, Kimberly. Some people are starting to say that they're starting to hear some music bleed in, hearing background music.
That happened last time, but
yeah.
It's got to be some radio frequency or something. There is no music in this house right now. So sorry. We have no idea why that's happening. Oh, I've got to spray it. That is strange. I don't know why. Sorry about that. I promise you it's really quiet. I even stopped the clock so you wouldn't hear the TikToks. So, and Marina can attest to that clock. So, all right, here we go. Flat, flat, flat. All right, so do you want to try, oh, I'm going to turn this off now. Do you want to try unplugging your mic and see if maybe the 2 mics are doing it, or I don't know. It's such a puzzle how that happens. Anyway, we did it. Blocks G, H, and I. Let me help you here, honey. I'll hold this. There we go. We unplugged Mr. Kim. Not that we don't want to hear him, but and he needs to turn that around and say hi to everybody anyway. Come on.
You don't. Why? They don't want to see me. They want to see you.
Come on, give him a thumbs up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, not Cheeto, me.
Oh my goodness. All right, you guys did it. Please take time to post pictures of your blocks. Maybe they're hanging on your design wall. I want to see them. Tag me so I can make sure to see them. Sometimes that your posts get buried, and if I haven't commented, it's only because I didn't see it. So if I see your picture or your post, I will be sure to comment. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'll try to go back this afternoon and read through and see if there was anything that wasn't answered. But next time we are going to be working with side A of the ruler, and we are going to be making beautiful flying geese. If you have hated flying geese up until now, you will hate them no more, because I promise you they are so fun to make. They're so accurate. There's no wasted fabric. Just trust me, be willing to follow along. Let's add a little half hour to the next class so we have plenty of time, because we have 3 blocks plus the border to do. And so we just want to get through everything. And if I can post some little blocks or some tips before then, I will. But this is what we're going to do. The next block is this one. And where are they? It's this one, and that one down there, that pretty one. And then these flying geese. So cut what you can. Don't worry, don't cut anything that says side A. We can do that together next time. Just get what you can cut, set aside, kind of make yourself little post-it notes to label everything so you'll be straight. And we will have time to sew together in the 4th and final class, July 25th from 1 to 3-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you all so much for joining us in our studio and just being part of this with us. You have blessed us so much. Just your enthusiasm, your hearts, your thumbs up, everything. We have been so blessed just to share with you. And we hope to keep doing more and keep these coming, and just being part of your lives means so much. So post your pictures, post pictures with your kitties or your doggies. We love to see them. This is a community of encouragement and support. You'll find it right here on this page, and also the Janome Sewing Machines page. Check them both out. And also check me out. If you haven't friended me yet, come and find me at Kimberly Einmo or Kimberly Einmo Designs. Thank you so much. Thank you, Janome people, for all that you've done to answer questions today. I appreciate you all, and thank you. We will see you in 2 weeks next time.